G'day everyone, Brian here again. Welcome to the Japanese Whiskey review. On the last video we did a bunch of $20 Nikkas or thereabouts, some a bit cheaper. And this time we're going to be doing Suntories, the three that I remember the most that were around that $20 mark. Great value, but also good whiskies. We're going to start off with the Suntory Special Reserve. Now this has been around for a long time. There's been a bunch of no-age statements and a whole lot of different labels on them. There's also been a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. So we're going to start off with the 10-year-old. Now the notes are kind of simple, so these are going back, even though I've had quite a few bottles. So combine these for the 10-year-old with the ones I do for the 12-year-old and you've got a bigger picture of this and what it's like. So the nose, it's nicely fruity. There's peaches, bananas and pineapple. Now again, this isn't a heavily grain-forward blend. There's vanilla, gentle oak and sawdust, and after a while there was a vegetal element, but not off veggies or anything like that, just kind of balancing out the sweeter elements as well. And pears and stewed apples. On the palate, there's an immediate spiciness of baking spices, sweet spices. Nuts, more on the sweeter side, macadamias, cashews. Fresh baked scones, or scones, depending where you come from. And stewed apples, apple pie crust, cinnamon. On the finish, it's lightish body. It's pleasant, but the body is on the lighter side. And the finish is nicely warming and mouth coating. So there's a bit of the oiliness as well, with medium length, with the sweet nuts and custard over stewed apples and apple pie crust. And I said it was a classy blend of good complexity, especially for the dosh. I think I was paying maybe $10 US for this, and the rating was 87 out of 100. Reality after many years is probably around 85, but I would definitely peg it there. And I had many bottles of this, obviously for the price, but also it was satisfying. It's more of a session whiskey, but a good one at that. So we're going to move on to the 12-year-old, and label is slightly different. They also did one with it's like a sherry cask finish as well, which I did, which isn't as good either. I forget the name of it. It might have been another 10-year-old, but these are the ones of a great value. In fact, that wasn't expensive as well, but I didn't like it as much as these. So the 10-year-old was 43% ABV, and I put down that the 12 was 40. I don't know if it's a typo, but apparently the ABV was lower. Nose immediately reminded me of its younger brother, Special Reserve 10-year-old. There was apple custard, stewed pears, tinned peaches, banana, the sawdust, very creamy with a big dollop of demerara sugar. Palate, I said yum. Very creamy mouthfeel. Again, it was on the lightish body side. I had 5 spice, mashed bananas, apple custard, tinned peaches, smooth oak. So there's oak there, but it isn't heavy or overbearing. And you can get the apple pie crust and the cinnamon. Finish is fresh cream covered peaches, stewed apples and banana, sprinkled with sweet spices. And the last word never loses its composure. Excellent blending, and I gave it the same score as the 10-year-old, which was 87, so probably in reality after years closer to that 85 mark. On value, it's definitely a 10 out of 10, as with the other ones that I've mentioned. Anyway, let's move on to the last one of the Suntories in the $20 range, $20 price range. We're going to talk about Suntory Royale 15 years, as it's called, aged 15 years. Now again, there was no age statement versions of these. There's been different bottle shapes of these. There was a 12-year-old, but for me the best I had was the 15, and again I was probably paying around that 2,000 yen mark, around $20 roughly. Not sure what the exchange rate is now, at around that $20, maybe up to about 25. Not bad for a 15-year-old Japanese blend, which you could buy back then all day long for that price. So on the nose, licorice covered oak with lemon and banana, some macadamia nuttiness and wood stain. Sweet and creamy with soft grains. Now they're soft grains, but they're present. It's more grain forward than the previous ones that I'd mentioned, the previous blends that I'd mentioned, but mainly bran and wheat. After about 10 minutes, apricot makes an appearance. So on the palate, very creamy, but with a hint of lemon bitterness. So a little bit of balance there, or lemon tanginess, for want of a better word, but there's a bit of balance there as well. The macadamia nuts, licorice, banana, nutmeg, and golden syrup. And it was an easy sipper, let's put it that way. Again, on the lighter side of body. And the finish, soft with the smooth grains, creamy nuts, licorice, lemon, and some salty zing on the tongue. And the last word for this one I got: this whiskey wears its blendedness on its sleeve, with the grains definitely, I said dominant, but they're certainly, maybe dominant's not the word, but certainly very present. Oh, excuse me, bag was about to go flying. Okay, if you are looking for a multi-blend, this is probably not the one for you, where the Nikkas and even the Suntory Special Reserve were definitely more malt component to my taste. If, however, you like a smooth bourbon-esque style of whiskey, then step in line. And I rated this 86 out of 100. And it's probably not more than a point or two less than that these days after tasting a bunch of other Japanese whiskies. So around the 84, 85 mark. For the money, a cracking whiskey. So anyway, folks, there's 3 more of the best $20 Japanese whiskies, and if you can pick them up for anywhere like that kind of money, it's easy to dismiss blends a lot of the time, especially if you don't know anything about them. I saw someone recently posting, I think it was like $40 for this bottle, and at $40 I'd still go out and buy a bottle for sure. Anyway, in the next video I'm going to finish up with a single Mars. It's not that Mars don't make great whiskies, but in that $20 range, this is the one. So anyway, thanks for watching again. Bye for now.